Welcome to this explainer. You know, if you're using AI daily, you're probably wasting hours doing the exact same things over and over. Today, we're looking at a feature that is going to completely transform how you automate your workflows and scale your productivity. We're talking about Claude's skills. So let's just jump right in. Seriously, are you still starting from scratch every single time you open Claude? Constantly retyping your context, explaining your formatting rules for the 100th time, dictating your preferred tone? It's incredibly frustrating, right? If you're regularly using AI for tasks like, say, responding to a customer, writing project updates, or generating quotes, doing all that manual setup every day is honestly a massive waste of your time. Okay, let's dive into this. We are finally moving away from that old, chaotic way of working. You know, the one where you copy-paste old prompts and just kind of hope Claude remembers your specific links or brand voice. The new reality? Expert output, every single time. By utilizing a skill, you replace that daily friction with seamless, guaranteed consistency. You get exactly what you need, formatted perfectly, instantly. So what exactly is this thing? Well, a Claude skill is essentially a reusable capability. Think of it like a custom-built easy button. It packages up your specific procedures, your best practices, and your institutional knowledge. Instead of prompting from scratch, you tell Claude your rules once, and it just applies them automatically to every future task of that type. It really all boils down to this. A skill is a set of instructions that you save once, and then Claude remembers forever, literally forever. You're actively capturing what your organization actually knows. You can package your company's procedures so perfectly that even a brand new team member can get expert-level, highly consistent results from Claude on their very first day. Now, under the hood, the technical reality is that a skill is basically just a folder. It contains a skill.md file with some YAML front matter, a markdown body, and maybe some optional subdirectories. And sure, developers can build these manually. They can add executable scripts or code to give Claude full control over complex systems. But if you aren't a coder, don't worry. There is a much easier way for the rest of us that requires absolutely zero coding. Let's move to how this builds, because before you can actually use any skills, whether you code them or not, you've got to do a super quick setup in the Claude desktop app. Just open your settings, navigate over to the Capabilities tab, and toggle on Code Execution and File Creation. Because skills often process data or format files, they simply won't run without these permissions turned on for your account. And once that's on, you unlock the absolute easiest way to build, the Skill Creator. It's so cool. You just open a chat and describe what you want to automate. Claude will proactively ask a few clarifying questions just to make sure it fully understands your request. Once you answer, it automatically formats the markdown, structures the YAML, bundles your resources, and saves the entire skill for you. It's almost like magic. You just talk to it and it builds the tool. And this brilliantly illustrates the range here, because these skills adapt beautifully to totally different industries. For instance, a small pizza shop owner can take a messy, vague email from a customer, feed it into a custom catering skill, and instantly output a beautiful, branded PDF quote based on their preloaded menus, pricing, and delivery fees. Meanwhile, on the flip side, an enterprise can use an internal comms skill to turn a few rough bullet points into a perfectly formatted company-wide newsletter or a standard 3P: progress, plans, problems, team update. It handles the hyperlocal and the corporate with the exact same ease. But what if your workflows are incredibly complex? Well, you can actually stack these skills. Claude uses a technical process called lazy loading via progressive disclosure, which honestly is really just a fancy way of saying it doesn't get overwhelmed reading everything all at once. It only pulls up exactly what it needs precisely when it needs it. You could have 50 or 60 different skills installed and it won't slow your system down at all. And the magic doesn't just stop inside Claude's interface. Thanks to a massive ecosystem of partner integrations, you can install skills that hook directly into the platforms your team is already using every single day. We're talking seamless connections with Figma for your design assets, Box for secure file management, Notion for your workspace organization, and Canva for creating stunning visual designs completely effortlessly. The whole shebang. Now, what's really interesting about this is how these integrations actually behave in practice. They teach Claude how to transform stored files into PowerPoint presentations, Excel spreadsheets, and Word docs that actually follow your exact organizational standards. So it's not just moving data around, it's actively processing multiple spreadsheets, catching anomalies, and generating fully branded presentations based on your unique company context. It literally turns days of manual formatting into like an hour of work. All right, shift in tone for a second, because with great power comes a very real need for caution. We have a pretty serious wake-up call here visually. Studies have found that out in the wild, on the public web, over a third, 33%, of publicly available AI skills contain hidden security flaws. And honestly, some are downright malicious. The technical threat here is legit. Remember earlier when we turned on code execution so our skills could work their magic? Well, because a skill is just a set of instructions that Claude follows, a malicious third-party skill can quietly instruct Claude to run unauthorized code right on your computer. It could grab sensitive files or proprietary data that it has absolutely no business touching and send it elsewhere entirely without your knowledge. No way do you want that. So, the crucial point is, how do you protect yourself while still getting all these massive productivity gains? There are two incredibly safe paths forward. First, only install plugins and skills directly from the Anthropic vetted directory inside Claude. Those are tested and maintained. Second, build your own using the skill creator. Because if you are the one dictating the instructions, you know exactly what is inside that folder and exactly what data it's allowed to touch. Which leaves us with one final provocative question for you. What repetitive task are you going to automate first? You now know what Claude skills are, you know how to set them up safely, and you've seen how they can turn hours of manual work into instant magic. So, go open up the Skill Creator, build your first custom workflow, and take your productivity to the next level. Thanks for joining this explainer.